You can have a clean logo, sharp photos, a polished bio, even a decent website, and still be invisible. Why? Because a parked car can be shiny and still go nowhere. That to me is where a lot of people get stuck. They keep treating it like a content problem. Sometimes it is, but very often it is really an activity problem and a planning problem. Things exist, but nothing is moving. The page is there, but it's quiet. The website is there, but it leads nowhere. The bio is refined for the 15th time, but nobody's being guided anywhere useful. And I know that trap because for the last few months, I've lived there. For some people that looks like posting endlessly and getting no results, but my problem was a bit different. I would spend hours refining my overall online profiles, the wording, the places people would meet me online, those little pieces of presentation, while not doing enough actual activity on top of them. So this video is really about that. It's not about perfection, not pretending everything needs to be fully built before you can even begin, just understanding what parts need to exist and why they matter, and how to improve them by using them in the real world. Because the market is really usually a lot less cruel than our assumptions lead us to believe. Sometimes the thing you nearly didn't put out works, and works well. Sometimes the thing you polished for weeks ends up landing flat, getting no response at all. You don't learn based on what happens in your head, you learn from what actually happens in motion. Before we go any further, let's try to define what a brand even is. A brand is the picture, feeling, and expectation people build around a person, business, or offer. That's the simple version. So it's not just a logo, it's not just your colors, it's not just your typography, it's not just your slogan, it's the whole impression, the combined experience, what people come to expect from you. And that brand is bigger than just the internet, really. It lives offline too, in how you speak, in how you deliver, how your space that your potential or actual customers interact with you, how that space feels, how people talk about you when you're not even there. All of these things come together and are a part of your brand. Digital branding is the online side of that bigger reality. It's the part people meet you through your website, your social pages, email, WhatsApp, search results, content, offers, every other piece they can run into you online. And that's the part where I focus most, because it's often the first slice people will interact with you right now in 2026. And if that first slice is unclear, dead, or disconnected, friction starts early. Now, lately I've been referring to myself as a digital brand strategist. What does that even mean? The thing is, content creator by itself stopped feeling precise enough for what I really do. Because video is one part, design is one part, messaging is one part, websites are one point, lead flow is another part. But what I actually care about is how all of these parts work together and what they teach people to believe before a call is ever even booked. So when I say digital brand strategist, all I really mean is this. I help businesses make their online presence make more sense, feel more trustworthy, and work harder for the goals behind the business. That brings me to the main idea I want to leave with you today. I call it a digital brand system. System makes it sound technical, but I'm using it in a very simple way. I just mean a connected set of parts, and if one is weak, the others feel it. For this video, I want to keep it to 6 parts: presence, message, activity, path, experience, and proof. Presence is what people can find. Message is what they can understand. Activity is what shows you are alive and learning. Path is where interest is meant to go. Experience is how dealing with you feels. And proof is what confirms you are real and worth their time. So first is presence. This is the basic layer, your website, your Instagram, your LinkedIn, your business email, your WhatsApp business profile. What shows up when people look you up? The simple fact that you exist in a findable form online. Back in 2023, when I was pushing to enter the voiceover space, because a lot of people were like, wow, you have this nice voice, have you thought about monetizing it? So I gave it some serious thought. So I built that layer, that presence layer. I made the website, I cleaned up my LinkedIn, optimized the SEO towards voiceover. I set up a Google business profile. I even made a Fiverr page. But this is the honest part. I did not have some mighty, well-designed machine behind it. I was not doing any kind of strong outreach. I had no consistent lead generating strategy. I did not even have a proper industry standard demo at first because I just didn't have the studio money. So a lot of those pieces, they existed, but they were not yet being driven properly. Still, they mattered, and they mattered a lot. Because little by little, people started finding me. There's this one studio, they reached out to me via my LinkedIn DM for Caribbean voice talent and encouraged me to send over a demo. Then another one. Then a creative director from Brazil reached out to me on my WhatsApp business number with an opportunity linked to HBO Max for the Caribbean region. The reason? She specified they needed Jamaican talent for this promotion. Now, that didn't end up working out perfectly smoothly. There were some hiccups, partially involving an upstairs neighbor drilling during our live recording. I'm traumatized. But at the end, it still worked out well. The whole thing was professional. I still got paid. And even though the final product never ended up airing, that opportunity is ridiculous. I got to work with HBO Max. Presence by itself can't self-ignite. But if presence does not exist, opportunities cannot find you at all. If I didn't have some kind of online presence, some kind of profiles, messaging, SEO, targeting that identified myself as a Jamaican voiceover talent, I would have never seen any of those opportunities. That leads to the second part, message. Can a normal person quickly understand what you do, who it helps, and why it matters? Because some people, as they're explaining what they do to you, it sounds important for like the first 6 seconds, but then you're left like, so what do you actually do? What you do, brother? Like, wagwan. Because clear beats fancy most days, and that's something that took me some time to understand because I like to use eloquent language, but if it's at the cost of going over the target audience's head, it's pointless. Even with me, I had to tighten this part of my brand up because yes, I do content, yes, I do video, yes, I do websites and branding work, but the deeper thread that's running through it is that I care about how the digital parts fit together and shape trust. That's why the wording matters. If your message is muddy, people have to work twice as hard just to understand what the value is. Why should they care? But once people begin to understand you, a very fair question comes next. Are you actually active? Or are you just a well-decorated shell? This is the part I want to stress. Activity. A polished online presence left stagnant cannot wake itself up. It can't shake hands for you. It cannot follow up for you. It cannot test your offer for you. It cannot learn what the market responds to if you keep everything in your drafts. It just can't. This is where planning comes into, and I'm not talking about over planning. I'm talking about just enough direction that your effort is actually pointed somewhere. Who are you trying to reach? What are you asking them to do? What are you testing this month? What are you repeating on purpose? Activity is posting, activity is outreach, activity is follow-up, activity is refining your effort based on real results, not what you imagine in your head. Yeah. Activity is seeing what people ignore, what they ask about, what they are confused by, and then what they actually purchase. And this is something referred to as validated learning in Eric Ries's book, The Lean Startup. It's a fancy phrase, but it has a simple meaning. You do the thing in public, learn from what happens, adjust it, and do it again. Rinse and repeat. That's how rough versions become better versions. Not by endlessly rewriting your LinkedIn profile and bio in private. I'm talking to you. But by letting the market answer you. And once there's real activity, you immediately notice another issue. Where's all that interest supposed to go? That brings us to the fourth part, path. Path is simply the route from interest to action. Somebody sees your page, then what? Somebody likes what you offer, then what? Somebody wants to ask a question, then what? This is where a lot of these online pieces fail. They exist, but they do not lead anywhere. The website has no strong call to action, no next step. The bio says very little. The WhatsApp is there, but it's not really set up to help. The offer exists, but nobody's being guided toward it. That's one of the reasons why I started to offer websites to small businesses. And I actually have a package going called the website Lite. That's because not everybody needs a giant complicated site. A lot of people just need a clean home online that explains what they do, is mobile optimized, it shows up well on the phone, and gives people a direct next step to their WhatsApp, their email, or whatever preferred contact method they have. If you're interested in that or any of my other offerings, click the link in the description to find out more. And no, the website alone is not the whole answer either, but it gives the system somewhere useful to send people. Once the path is clearer, people stop noticing the setup. They start noticing the experience of dealing with you. That leads into the fifth part, experience. This is how it feels interacting with you, your tone, your patience, your professionalism, your clarity when things are going smoothly, and your transparency when they are not. When I formally registered my business and got the opportunity to provide social media management services to Mona, the online pieces helped me get a foot in the door. You know, having a professional email, that mattered. Having a website, that probably helped. Having a well set up WhatsApp business profile, that probably didn't hurt either. But what really helped cement the relationship was not just those outer pieces that looked respectable, it was how I handled the actual real world interaction. There were hiccups, there were teething troubles, and in those moments I tried my best to communicate thoroughly, stay calm, and carry myself like somebody that was serious about getting the work done, even as I was learning their internal flow and learning the nuances of the whole process. People remember that. They remember whether dealing with you felt smooth or stressful, clear or foggy, mature or careless. Does this mean that every customer interaction that I've had has been flawless? Absolutely not. I am imperfect. I'm young. I've made a lot of mistakes in this journey of learning these things, but I've made a sincere effort. Every time things have fallen apart in some shape or the other, I try to mend the relationship as best as I'm able to. And once people have these positive experiences cemented in their minds, they naturally start looking for one more thing. Well, this can happen before or after. Proof. This is your past work, your testimonials, your case studies, your referrals, your visible results, your screenshots, your receipts. And for people still building, proof doesn't mean that you should pretend that you're bigger than you are. Don't bother with the fake reviews. It means using what's true, a real project, a real lesson, a real client result. Even something that seems small or insignificant to you could be the very nudge somebody needs to take you seriously. Use real before and afters, real cause and effect. Because honest proof builds trust faster than inflated talk. A lot of people say a lot of things in today's marketplace. A lot of big promises are made, and people are honestly fatigued by just how much people talk and how little value is actually delivered. So if you're able to go against that grain, you're differentiating yourself dramatically. So if we zoom out, what do we have? We have presence, message, activity, path, experience, proof. That is the digital brand system. Not perfection, not a box you can tick off once, absolutely not. It's a working set of parts that you have to keep strengthening over time. And that's the spirit I want my content to have going forward. Not me showing up as some all-knowing guru. I'm absolutely not. That is not me. I am just as new to this whole entrepreneurial journey as many of you are, and I am imperfect, and I'm nuanced, and I'm learning. But I want this to be a place where I can break down those things. I can share those insights. I want to break down what knowledge I do have about digital branding, websites, messages, content, lead flow, client experiences, and all the other moving parts in simple language that people can actually use. Because a lot of these things, they exist. The information is out there, but they are parsed, they are stuffed into these highly complicated things, right? With all of this jargon and all of this language that is so intimidating that many people don't even bother trying. So, especially for people like you who know that you're good at what you do, but your digital presence is not yet helping the business as much as it should, please press the subscribe button. Press it like right now. I'll wait. All right. So, if you did so, it means the world to me, because you're subscribing. It goes towards me being able to make more videos like this for you guys. So let me leave you with this. Your problem may not be that you need any more polish. It may be that the parts aren't connected. It may be that too little is actually moving. It may be that you have online pieces, or you don't, but there is no real path. And the answer is not to wait until everything is perfect. I'm not saying that you have to have like the perfect digital brand just to get started, to get your foot in the door. It's just that you need to build what needs to exist, use it, learn from it, and then improve it in action. Learn from actually how it performs out there in the real world, not how you assume it may or may not perform in your mind. So, in closing, ask yourself, what is my digital brand telling people about me right now?